Good morning. I'm going to show you today how to troubleshoot a light switch, a problem. At the customer's house, he's a landlord. There's a problem with the light up here. Ceiling fan light fixture. We've already changed the light bulb. That didn't change it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead because the light bulb didn't fix it. And I thought maybe the bulb was bad in a box. You know when you buy a box of 4 bulbs. So I changed the bulb a second time. That didn't change the problem any. So it didn't fix it. So we're going to go and work on the switch next. Now that switch, this house was built around 1978. And here we are in 2018. So that would mean that this house would be about 78, 88, 98, 2018, be 40 years old. So this is likely the original light switch. But before we can do that, we have to go downstairs and find the fuse panel so we can shut it off and make it safe. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. I got a lamp set up here, so we got a light for the computer. You're going to have to work with me here because my computer and laptop camera aren't the best in the world, but I want to show you how to troubleshoot a problem like this. So we're heading down the basement. This is the tenant that lives in the landlord's house here. So it's not the neatest in the world. I apologize for that, but it's not my place. Okay, so set the laptop right there. I've already opened the panel and the breaker. If you look up here, master bedroom bath is already number 10. It's on, it's off. It's off to that direction. Okay? So I'm showing you, I've already found it in advance. I looked for the panel and thought, well, maybe the breaker needed reset. And I turned it off and reset it, went back upstairs, and the light switch still did not work. So that wasn't the problem. A lot of times something can happen. You're running too many things and you can blow a breaker or blow a fuse. And I checked that. That was the next thing I checked before when I first got here. So it's probably going to be a light switch. Now the good news about the light switch is you can buy them. I bought this one for $229. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute here. There we go. Okay, so alright, here I am right here. Can you see me? So you're only going to need a couple tools to do this. This is a set of cutters and a Phillips head screwdriver and a flat screwdriver. See how the end is flat? This one looks more like an X. You can do it with just a pair of needle nose pliers that looks like this. See it? There we go. Just like that. See it? You can buy an electrical repair kit someplace like Walmart for probably under $15 that has everything you need in it. So the breaker's off. We shouldn't have any power. We should be able to work on it now. So this kit that I have actually comes with a screwdriver and everything. It's got 2 screwdrivers. Comes with a pair of these wire strippers came with the kit for under $15 and 2 screwdrivers. But they're very affordable. So make sure I got the camera focused good again. There we go. I'm trying to work the camera and fix the problem. And I'm the maintenance man for the landlord. Alright, so let's take this thing off. Alright, 2 screws come off and the panel comes off, the panel cover. Okay. You can do this with a Phillips screwdriver or a flat screwdriver. This probably is original to the house, so if it's stuck in there, it's not surprising. It could be rusted, it could be corroded, there's paint all over the front of it. It's falling apart. Double checking that there's no power, don't seem to be any power. Now if you wanted to use a tester, I'm going to show you that option too. To look at the possibility that you might be able to test the wire. I'm going to show you how that works, because I want to teach you the proper way. You can buy various types of testers at the hardware store, so you don't want to touch that screw yet. See them 2 screws? There's different ways of doing this, but I don't use this tester very often, but you can just hook it to the side, and if the thing lights up, you got power. But in this case, you're just doing a basic electric job, and you should be relatively safe with just being able to. You don't need a continuity test or anything, but I'm just showing you how to be safe. Taking these screws loose. I'm noticing a problem early on. That ground ain't connected. Modern day electric code means that it needs to be connected. That's an old switch. The difference between the old switch there and the new switch that we're going to install is, here's your 2 screws. But see the difference? So they're both in the off position. There's no ground that goes to the gold wire. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of sandpaper, in this case steel wool, and I'm going to clean up the corrosion. There's paint all over this. They probably painted the place, spray painted the place before they put the wiring together, the drywall and stuff. And there's some corrosion on that wire. Clean it up good, so it's good and shiny. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and snip those off with my needle nose pliers and start over, because the wire only bends once. You bend it twice and you're asking for a problem. Okay, so now hopefully you got enough wire to work with in the box. We're going to put this in like this, and we're going to turn it back and forth like this. We want to cut the insulation, not the wire. Right there like that. Like I said before, we're going to straighten that out, but we're going to be careful. We don't want that wire to bend. Come back here a little bit. And I'm the maintenance man for the landlord and electrical engineering student, so we want a nice, that'll probably work, C looking type of establishment to go on our new switch. And right here too, we're going to have to form that into a kind of a, there we go. Let's see. A lot of your new switches, black to black, which is hot to hot. White is your neutral wire, black's your hot wire, and this gold one here that we just cleaned up is your ground wire. Okay? So there's your lighter screw. And this was probably put in 40 years ago, so it probably won't be changed again in my lifetime if it lasted 40 years. The first 40 years. I like to take my screwdriver here and just kind of tuck that in tight. Just like that. And make sure everything fits good. It fits pretty good, doesn't it? I want to do that again. You want to make sure you got it right. This is your house. This is your security. So if you mess it up, don't be afraid to do it again. You want, look, I'm going to try to show you what I'm talking about here. You want this wire to make sure, see it, that it's on the gold metal. See how it goes right there and that's on the gold metal. And if you don't have it on the gold metal, form it one more time. Same thing. You're working at tight quarters, I know. I've done a lot of it. There we go. You get some sort of a circular motion out of it. Okay, see how it fits on there pretty tight? Now see how it's on the gold metal. Take a screwdriver and try to press it in tight and tighten it down. Get it pretty tight as you can get it. Same thing here. I take my flat screwdriver. I always do this, and I try to come behind it here and just try to do what I can to flatten it down. In this case, I might be to tighten it just a little bit with my pliers, just like that, a little bit. There we go. Fits good and comfortable and tight. You might be able to use the end of your cutters too. Your pliers here. Just get that. Try to get that as tight as you can, so you got a good tight fit. And you got the. See that? Probably push against the wall, so you got something to hold it while you work on it. And just before you get it tight, and I keep talking about this, that thing needs to be not against the plastic right here. See it? But I want that thing to be over on the metal. Okay? Now you can use this screw would take a flat or a Phillips to tighten. Sometimes a flat's better. Get it tight. That's pretty tight. Snug it down. There we go. And the gold always goes to the screw on one side. And I'm going to take my pliers. If you got a kit with a set of cutters, sometimes you can just reach in there with the cutters and tighten that down too a little bit. See that? If you bought the kit or you have the tool, you come in from behind like this and just see I'm cripping that in there good tight, just like that. All right. Always making sure that you've got, and I'm going to go ahead and push it with the screwdriver too, to make sure that you got that as tight as you can against the wire and the screw. The ground is your safety wire. Sometimes you don't have the right size Phillips screwdriver. You can just use the making sure that. And I'm really fussier than most, because I want to make for darn sure that this thing is safe for the people who live here. And if I got to take it off and maybe redo it again, I'm going to do it one more time, because it has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not safe. And I learned at the university that sometimes we got to do it again if we don't have it right the first time. And even the best of us with the most experience occasionally have a problem. There we go. Crimp it down tight like that, tighter on the wire. Push it in with a screwdriver, and then tighten it up. Alright. Now, when you put this thing back in the box, you just got to kind of push the wires back in carefully. Make sure that it says off. See? It can turn a little bit. It won't hurt anything. Back in the box there. Make sure you got on and off. See, off and on. It says it's off position before you put it in. These screws you can use flat or Phillips. That's a flat, by the way. She's got a flat straight edge. Or a Phillips has like an X type program. You can use both on that screw. Tighten it up snug. I'm not going to cut these off. I'm going to leave them on. They're not going to hurt anything. Changing this thing yourself will probably save you a couple hundred. Could save you a couple $100. And if you had to call someone out to do it, and do all the testing that we just did, and go through the process, save you $100 or more. I paid $229 for the switch and probably equal for the cover, so I paid less than $5 for this, including the new cover that we're going to put on in 1 minute here. We're getting to just in a second here. Just as soon as we get this thing tight. There you go. Goes up and down good. Okay, see that? Now we're going to put the cover back on. We're going to put a new cover on. I've already got it out of the package. This is a wide cover, wider, so it covers a lot of times when you pull it off. If that's stuck when you pull it off, take a flat screwdriver, carefully pry the back side. See how it was all stuck? It came off. But look at the difference. This cover is a little bit wider for a remodel than the other one. See it behind it? So that it will cover this up pretty good. That way it won't leave any damage to your wall. There you go. See that? Or if the drywall is not perfect, you can just do that too. Alright, just a couple flat screws hold that in. And I turn it till it gets snug like that. Don't overturn it, you'll crack the plastic cover. And them are tiny little screws. They're almost like using an eyeglass repair kit. A little bigger than that though. And I just make sure that the screw is straight up on both sides. But just like that. So it looks nice. There you go. So we got that in place. So you learn how to, and here's the thing, if you learn how to change this properly. Hopefully that's the problem. I changed the light bulb that didn't fix it. I figured, well, maybe the light bulb in the box, you got 4 light bulbs in a box, maybe that one was bad, so I put another one in the box that didn't fix it. I said, well, it's not the light bulb, it's the reciprocal switch, the light switch. So then I went down to look. I went and got a switch at the hardware store, $229. Cover was about $229 too. Come back. Excuse me. And I went down to the basement and found the panel box and shut it off. We're going to turn the power back on to the light here in a minute. I set up a lamp up there so you can see it better. On an extension cord from the other room. There's the breaker going off. Let's say you don't know what, it's not marked in your box. Master bedroom, bathroom, it's up here somewhere, number 10. But let's say it's not marked. You gotta come down and turn one switch off at a time until all the power goes off to the bedroom. If that's not the switch, turn it off. Or you can shut off the entire switch to the main, shut that off. If that shuts all the electric off in your house, that means your refrigerator, freezer ain't working. That's not a great idea, especially when it's hot outside. Turn off one at a time, go upstairs, put your tester on your screw. If that's not it, come back and try another one. And be careful, don't, sometimes you can take the switch off. Sometimes you can take the switch off, the switch cover off, and just touch it to the side through the box. Goes right on the edge here. Take the panel off and you can reach in there. You can test it with your tester. But don't touch your finger to it or you're going to get electrocuted. Alright, hopefully once we get back up here, we're going to have, I apologize, my camera equipment's not the best, but I wanted to help you, so if you ever have to change your light switch out and you don't have, something's wrong, you'll be alright. We're going to have a job coming up here soon. Keep watching the channel here, YouTube channel. I'm going to be building an extension cord with multiple plugs on it, and also going to be doing some work with a putting a light fixture in coming up here soon. Okay, so can you see it good? Switch is on off. Let's turn it to on. Fan's working, the light's on. So the switch was bad. Let's turn it back off. The fan's still moving. It will shut off in a minute. Not slowing down. It's just spinning a little bit, but it will come to a standstill in just a second here. See how it's shutting off? Just a second here while I put my tools away. It's going to come to a standstill. It's eventually going to stop turning. It's stopping. So it's off. It's just going to stop in a minute. Stops gradually, So there you are. We've got a see how it stopped? As soon as we turn the switch back on, it will stop in a second. It gradually shuts off. See, it's off, turns on. The light comes on and the fan starts up again. See, it's still spinning. So it's working properly. And that's about it. I want to thank you for coming. And there you are. And I want to thank you for coming. Hopefully, if you're in a jam, that will help you get through the jam that you're in, and you'll be able to get straightened out and get your light working again. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. See, the light's still working. Lights off. Lights on. Off. On. We got that fixed for the landlord. Thanks for coming.